Today, I have Sanjay, the co-founder of RadarKit, which is one of the most practical and useful AI visibility tracking tool I've come across in the past 6 months. And today, we're going to break down a lot of myths, a lot of new hacks, and a lot of new updates that have been happening in the LLM tracking space, LLM ranking space. Sanjay, thank you for joining. What's a new feature that you are really excited about with your tool?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Javis Bhai, for introducing me and bringing me on the podcast. And as you all know, I mean, the AI visibility space, there's new updates every single day. There's new reports, new case studies. Thanks to your LinkedIn post, I'm always updated and we always share our thoughts. And you have your private community as well, where I get to learn things as well as share my findings. In the last 2-3 days, we recently launched something called Local Radar. So we are tracking the Google Map listings and how are these listings being fetched. And we found something very different in terms of the answers what you used to give for software companies or any other niche. But if I'm asking something related to local business, it is actually fetching information from its memory. It's not triggering a web search, but still it is giving a list. So there was something new we found, and I would love to share it over here as well.
We'll dive into that in a bit again.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you what I ask all of my guests. What are the top three ranking factors for LLM visibility right now?
I would say what I have seen, just track your prompt. It may be very different, for your industry. First and foremost, track it over a course of time. Track it from the location that you want to track, and then see what kind of content is actually influencing the result. It may not be listicles, because listicles is out there. Everyone is saying that do listicles. What if it's video for you? What if it's just YouTube videos who are just influencing the results the most? So track it, use a tracker that gives you that data, and create consensus level content around it. And I would say yes, consensus, that is the main important thing. I mean, a lot of people saying the same thing about you. Depending the content type, if it's a listicle, do it listicles. If it's service pages, do that. Reviews, do that. Depends, from industry to industry. And yeah, otherwise, what you can do is always just go with the PR, press releases as well. Those also work, but for a very short span of time. For long term, I would always say either content or a video, or else personal branding or something like that, just to create more content out there which is being favored in your niche.
You said about tracking data. Let's say if we are not using any tracking tool, for people who want to track using various LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, but the issue over there is that there is always personalization if you're using your own profile. What's your best suggestion to avoid personalization? And also, you mentioned that we need to get data from the right IP as well, the right location. So these two issues, how can we resolve personalization and the IP issue if we are not using a third party tracking tool, if we just want to use our LLMs for tracking data?
Yeah. For that, you can use VPNs. Some VPNs may get undetected, but you can still try it. I mean, it doesn't give you any harm on that. And with the personalization, I would say if you see the total number of users of ChatGPT, it's around 950 million active users per week. And out of those, only 50 million are paid. So that means the 900 million, around 92% of the people are actually using free GPTs, or else the lower models that we get in India or in Brazil and all, they give you just access to the 5.5, around $4 to $5. Majority of the people are actually using the free models, so we'll have to influence for them. Okay, and once we have that, we can use a VPN, and then you just search your keywords, and there's something called temperatures. So basically, what temperature is, let's say I ask this question. Okay, the destination is already set by the LLM already. Okay, let's just assume that there are 6 lanes that this answer could go through. But which way it will choose, it's very much based on the temperature that the system decides on right there, and it can choose anyway. So if I'm just asking which is the best CRM software, sometimes it's gonna mention that Salesforce, but right after 1 hour you search, it may say that it's HubSpot. So it's not always personalization. Sometimes it's just the randomness of the AI, because they are not Google. They are not just just static. Once you're at top, you'll be there for a few months until some update comes. These LLM models, they're changing their answers every second. So there will be variations, there will be randomness all the time. So what I would suggest is just look at your prompts at least. Do it like 10 times in a day. Make a list of all the sources. Just scrape all the answers as well. Paste it into ChatGPT. It will automatically just give you that, okay, your average position out of these 10 times that you ask the same question, this is your average position. And these sources are getting cited the most. So automatically, what you have to do is just get a larger pool of data and then look at it after once you have done.
So you're saying just gather data by doing multiple runs, and that way, if there is any personalization, that will get filtered out as well. But apart from this, is there any other settings, any other way we can remove or reduce personalization? I've seen in Claude, in GPT as well, universal settings where you can add some instructions for universal processing. If we write there, avoid personalization for my results, is that effective?
What we do is we do it in the incognito mode, but we turn off the memory. So there is
Okay.
in the settings of ChatGPT, these tools now they have taken into some other tool, other route. They're just acting like Google now. They'll be using all your chats and everything, and they'll be selling you the storage later on. This is what I feel, and you can go into the settings. You can turn off that memory. So once you turn off that memory, it is not going to use anything that you have spoken to it before. It is just going to give you the blunt answer. But this the same thing. I have tried asking the same question with memory on and memory off, and most of the time I have gotten the same answer. So the LLMs, irrespective of the things, if it's a very vague prompt, it's a very long prompt saying that I am a lawyer, I am in this city, very conversational. Then if it's that, then it may change the answer. It will go beyond the page one, beyond the sources list will be more than 40 to 50 URLs. This will be in the under high or medium. But again, like search also, like if you're on page one, 90% of the users, they get their things done on page one. Most of the users, there will be very hardly few users who are actually going on to page two and page three. Just consider the high and the medium models in that sense. If you're coming from a SEO background, just take it from that perspective. You have to just focus on the instant models, the models that are actually working, and then forget about the personalization. You can turn it off, turn it on. You can try it by yourself. Most of the times, you'll get the same answer from the LLM.
Let's discuss how LLMs are processing results so that our users get an understanding of how LLMs are working and then they can plan out their strategies accordingly. So let's say ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Grok, the most popular LLMs right now. How each of these LLMs processing their data. Is there any similarity, or are all of them processing their data in a different way?
I think everyone has their partnerships, as we are aware. I mean, Brave is used by Claude, Bing is used by ChatGPT, Google obviously using their own data. So everyone has their partnerships in everything. Even in maps, what I saw, ChatGPT has a partnership with Yelp, and they have all the Yelp data automatically. So even if I'm asking which is the best restaurant in Manhattan, ChatGPT is giving me results, but it is fetching the information from Yelp. Whereas AI mode obviously using their own data. While ChatGPT has partnership with Bing, it is not using the Bing's local maps thing. So everyone has their own data, everyone has their own partnerships, and they're working to serve the user better. If the user is coming, is the user getting his the answer or his query fulfilled? So everyone's just working on that. What we can do is we can track and we can see from where are these people getting the results. What are some similarities? If you can just, because we as an SEO, we just see something inside those lines. What we have to do is see a larger pool of data, find some similarities where we can go out there and do some tasks to influence the result.
How is the live processing of data different across different LLMs? Usually we see in ChatGPT, first they'll have fan out queries, then there is reasoning, then we'll see sources being pulled in multiple batches based on how many fan out queries have been pulled. Then there is final answer. Is this behavior same across all LLMs, or is it different across all LLMs?
Perfect. Yeah. So I mean, me and you have been discussing about query fanout since a long time. We have seen, yes, query fanout is different in different models. Yesterday, that we discussed that Perplexity, it's searching the brand name as well. The brand that it shows that it's marking trusted in front of some brands, and then once it, let's say for a keyword like best CRM software, it marks Clutch as a trusted source. Okay, it shows it in the UI as well as it shows in the backend that okay, Clutch is a trusted source. Now it will do site colon Clutch, and now it is searching the fan outs. That was one another layer of searching, whereas ChatGPT just searches the fan outs. So if I'm asking best CRM software, it's gonna ask best CRM software reviews, best CRM software for small business. These are things which are found in the fan outs. Okay, Gemini in the AI in the UI does not give us any fan outs, whereas in the API it does give us the fan out. So your question with how it is different from API as well as from the UI, already comes automatically via the temperature thing that I discussed. So while you can use the OpenAI API, and you get a setting as well to set the temperature. So temperature is basically
Okay.
how much randomness you want. But in the system, I mean, in the UI, it automatically detects the user's locations that it is using in the UI. It automatically detects the temperature. It gives you the answer that is required for you in real time. Okay, but if you want more randomness, you can use the API. You'll get to see the more, like if you are seeing HubSpot, if you set the temperature to very low, randomness will be a lot, and you'll feel the answers going here and there. But what we have seen is in the UI, the answers remain same most of the times, as well as if you track it via location. We have seen, if I'm tracking something for Zoho, let's say in US versus in Germany, I've seen in Germany a lot of .de citations are being read by these LLMs, because obviously they are considering the localization part over there.
So just to confirm, do all LLMs spit out fan out queries?
No, I have seen what we have seen as of now. ChatGPT and Copilot gives perfect fan out queries, as well as Perplexity as well gives perfect fan out queries.
So you said Gemini doesn't spit out fan out queries in the front. API does. Any other LLM, Grok or any other LLM that you've come across that does not use fan out query process?
We haven't used Grok or tested on Grok yet as of now.
What about search verbatim, the reasoning part in the UI as well? I've seen that multiple times. I see it always in ChatGPT. Any other LLM that uses this process?
What we have seen is if it's a follow up question, then yes. If you're tracking something, have you tried something? You're tracking the first question and then you follow up as well.
No. We
Yeah,
do
we
multiple
have.
runs for the same queries, but because we are running our own agents, it limits us from being in the same chain and asking follow up questions.
Perfect, perfect. So we have seen it in ChatGPT. Apart from that, we have not seen the reasoning part, but only in the higher models is what I will say.
Who gives out maximum number of sources? Let's break the sources part, the citations part, because there are two parts to it. One is all the sources that are pulled, and then all the sources that are eventually cited. In terms of the whole pool of sources, which LLM do you see pulls most amount of sources in general?
What I've seen is AI mode. I guess AI mode
AI mode?
is the number one for us. That what we see in our data. AI mode, yeah. Because obviously Google has the best state of the art scraping technology. They've been doing it since years now. And second would be ChatGPT. For example, for a normal prompt over this last 7 days, AI mode would do 400 prompts, 400 citations. And for a normal prompt, ChatGPT, on the other hand, will do around 200 or less than that. So, even if you see the top guy versus the second most, is half of the citations that ChatGPT is reading versus AI mode. AI mode does the most amount of citations.
Okay, let's talk about the local map result, the new findings of analysis that you've done in terms of possibilities that people can use to rank better in the AI results. Can you give some more information on that?
So it was a client. She said that she has two restaurants in the same vicinity and she wanted to track how they are doing, because she sent me a screenshot that whenever she was tracking it in her phone, there was a big map pop up and she wanted to track. Sometimes, obviously, that we discussed before as well, right? The AI is not going to mention you number one all the times. So she was saying that sometimes I'm number one, sometimes I'm number two. So I just wanted to track, as well as I have another restaurant as well. For the same query, I want to track that how many times are my brands on number one or number two. And then we were like, okay, let's do it. And ironically, she thought that it's from Maps, but it was from Yelp. It was the old data actually was coming from Yelp. ChatGPT itself, they announced recently that they are going to have a big partnership with Yelp. So in our findings, this is the data sent by Shubham to me. Shubham is the co-founder. Should I share my screen?
Sure.
Yeah. So this is the data that Shubham has shared it with me. So this was the keyword: best dental care in Manhattan, NYC. Okay, GPT 5.5. ChatGPT did not do any searches, did not search any web page or anything. And then we found that there are three different sources that are giving the information, and these sources were named as Brightfeed, Yelp Feed, and something called B3. Then what we did is we went ahead and searched inside our database. We found that this data source called Brightfeed is being mentioned around 90% of the times in terms of local searches. So we wanted to know what is this Brightfeed. We dig deep and we found that Brightfeed is no one but Google. Okay, but ChatGPT is actually not mentioning any Google's thing or any URL or anything like that. I don't know if it's something with the with the IP laws or something like that. But Brightfield is always there, and then there is Yelp, and who's giving the data, but there is no web search performed. So now, how would you influence the result? The game just got even harder. It gave us the ranking, it gave everything, it gave the response that we usually get. But usually, what we see is that okay, there's a listicle who's influencing the result, there's a Reddit post who's influencing the result. But now we found that these sources are actually influencing the result. As well as Google Places, this is what Shubham has written. Then Google Places, they did not return any URL or anything like that, just maps.google.com. Apart from that, the Yelp feed actually returned a proper URL as well for that.
This is pretty interesting.
I'll just show you this thing as well. I mean, here you'll see that this is the queries, okay? And you'll see these are the providers. That means now it has just limited itself for this query. It is not doing a web search. It has labeled the providers by different things. I mean, Brightfeed is just a label for Google, is what I believe. We have seen this across a lot of prompts. This is not just for one prompt. We saw at least for 700 prompts. And then what it does is you can see there is something called ranking score. So this was very new for me as well. So it is actually doing a ranking score as well within the model, as well as from the sources. It's just mentioned that okay, these are the ranking source, and now I'm gonna give the answer to the customer based on the ranking score that it took on from the providers.
Is the ranking source coming from Brightfeed or is it straight from Yelp or Map?
Is coming
rating?
From the provider to provider. Like B3 is also Google. That is what we found. So whatever B3 was also Google, then Brightfeed is also Google, and then Yelp feed is also is Yelp obviously. So here you'll see that even TripAdvisor is over TripAdvisor fee. Then there is OpenTable, which is the restaurant aggregator. So there is OpenTable as well. There is Resi as well. So they're just tracking different things and then taking a ranking score. The ranking score is not mentioned if it's coming from them, but the way it is written over here, I think it is from the provider to provider. Yeah.
So ranking score is at the provider level. It's not at the source level. The citations that come, they don't get a ranking yet in ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, that is the question. There is no citations. There is no citations for this question. When we ask this question, yeah.
So no citations for map results.
No citations. It's just in the backend you can see that okay, these are the sources it is fetching from. So for these kind of queries, how will you influence the result? Now you automatically have to utilize some data point. Now you're getting that okay, it is fetching information from everywhere. Now it is fetching information from Google for the same restaurant, from Google, from Yelp for the same restaurant, from TripAdvisor from the same restaurants. Now it's combining everything and just making an answer for the user.
Interesting.
Here he has written, providers that keep provider URL ship a score, okay, and then B1, B2, B3, they don't ship a score because they are not giving a URL. As well as what we have seen is TripAdvisor gives the URL of the in the backend, gives the URL of the listing, give the logo of the listing. Google does not give any URL or any listing data inside these LLM. I mean, inside the backend, we didn't find anything for that.
Are you, sorry to cut you, in terms of any influence of Yelp results more in certain segments, whereas Google Map results being influential more in certain segments? Because just like Bright and Oxy Labs keep providing the sources randomly in different scenarios, have you come across that scenario yet when it comes to map results, where in certain niches Google Map is more prominent, in certain niches Yelp is more prominent?
Yeah. I'll just show you this example for 209 NYC Dental. So they have all the dental prompts. You can see it in my screen. And these are the prompts, best dental care in Manhattan, NYC. So we have this local radar. We go to the local radar. If I select ChatGPT, okay, you'll see that this is the result. I'm sorry, I'll just go to the prompt section. I'll just show you the prompt thing. That is the best thing. Okay. So here, as you can see, this is 209 NYC Dental. We are tracking this prompt, best dental care in Manhattan, NYC, if from the US. And you go to the responses tab, you'll see that ChatGPT is throwing a places, places box. We open this and we see in the places tab, you'll see that the data source is very different, and everything is coming from Yelp. You'll see that this is Yelp. So mostly it's coming from Yelp. And if I go to AI mode, one second, yeah, go to AI overviews as well, everything just comes from Google. You'll see
within ChatGPT, as my question was,
within ChatGPT, yes. So ChatGPT, yes, the data is one second, yeah, let's just see it over here. You'll see that Yelp is just dominating for this prompt. You'll see that here it shows a bright thing again, that is
probably
Google.
Google Map.
Yeah, this is Google. I don't know why they kept that. I mean, there's some labeling to different brands. So here as well, some bright, and there is Yelp in Yelp, and there's one TripAdvisor as well.
Interesting. I think Yelp was probably not that utilized so far by a
Yeah,
lot of the clients that
yeah,
we've come across, but I think that's going to be a very crucial recommendation now to most of the clients and anyone who is in the local,
local
SEO
SEO
space
page. Yeah.
or local business space. They must, get their Yelp profile set up and get the reviews. And I would say don't sleep on any of the review websites, whether it's Trustpilot, whether it's Yelp, whether it's G2, whichever review platform is relevant to your niche, we should be preparing profiles on them in advance before the next big announcement comes and there's a partnership between ChatGPT or any other LLM and that review platform.
That's a perfect suggestion.
What are some black hat manipulations that you have come across others doing? I'm not saying you are doing it, but what are some black hat manipulations that you've come across in the LLM ranking space?
I would say video is the number one. I mean, just create a video channel and just put listicles out there. Just the way we do articles, right? Very similar, because now obviously the LLMs, they're reading the transcripts. Do it for that. Very much SEO optimized, semantically covering all the points, having all the terms, all the words covered inside these articles. I mean, not the articles, obviously the videos. Just follow the machine gun strategy. Every day, one video. Come either if you're a SaaS, if you have a big channel, then it obviously pushes you automatically in the SERPs, in the YouTube SERPs, automatically up. And then as well as Google has like 3 products now. So it has Gemini, it has AI mode, it has overviews. Everyone uses their own proprietary data, and the biggest data point is YouTube. Okay, so obviously if you're in a very competitive SaaS space or a competitive space, just go for the videos, but not fresh. Just start with something you have, some numbers out there already, and do massive sharing for that in social groups. And either if you want to run ads as well, have more watch time on that. And once you have that, you'll see all the citations just start, they'll just start mentioning you most of the times. All these Google 3 products, I can guarantee for that, but ChatGPT and all, I can't. Yeah. This is one of the best one. Yeah.
But it's important to have some following, some subscribers on the
Yes,
YouTube channel.
it is.
Fresh ones are not as effective as aged.
Not that I have seen, yeah. As well as paid forums. So Black Hat World, you've heard, so, yeah. So they banned my listing. I don't know, man, what happened. I paid them $150. So what you do is, Black Hat World is one of the best forums out there. Okay, in our industry, it is. If you see from the contextual point of view, it has the SEO tag under it. So everyone knows, okay, all these SEO people are actually visiting these things. So what we did is, we made a Black Hat World forum listing. We paid them $150, and then obviously we utilized the SEO tag. So we were like one of the best AI search tracking tool. Okay, and then it was automatically ranking. And then to keep the thread fresh, so what happens is every 24 hours you can go out there on Black Hat Wall, you can comment something on your thread, and it refreshes and it goes into the homepage. Okay, and when it's on the homepage, we as an SEO, we know that whatever link is coming from the homepage to another domain, is that domain, that page is always going to be fresh, and is that page will always have that authority. So what we did is we built a bot. So the bot every 24 hours was going and giving up comment, and they got to know that, okay, every time this on this specific time, this thread of the radar kit is automatically getting this
Always
comment.
on
It is
top.
automatically coming on the first page of Black Hat Wall. It is staying there for 24 hours. And then it was something they only introduced. They were like, if you want to push your thread upwards, but the only caveat in that was, you can't comment, someone else should comment. If some user is asking for feedback, whenever someone messages something on your thread is number one, back on Black Hat Wall. You're on the homepage of a DR80, DR90 site, so automatically your thread is always there. But obviously they caught us, they banned us.
Let's talk about RadarKit. Why did you get into such a saturated and competitive space?
So we were into SEO, and then this was a new space. Everyone was just saying that, okay, search is moving now, and we wanted to build something. We tried building, a few tools before. We were waiting for an opportunity where it aligns, just not for the money, just not for the things, but it with our interests. And because we were SEOs, we love working in this field, doing tests and getting ourselves ranked inside the leaderboard, because this is a leaderboard, and whenever you're on top, you get this good dopamine hit, which we are used to now. So you were like, okay, let's just do it. And we used to do it for ourselves. We were doing the listicle testing and all, and then we were like, okay, we need something to track it. The technology that we were into, because we were into automations, we were into browsers and everything, the proxies thing. So we're using just the experience that we have. We wanted to put it into something that is valuable, and people should make money out of that. That is why we started, because we were using our own tool for ourselves, and then we were like, okay, let's just put it out there for the public as well.
What are some fake metrics of stats, without taking the name, that some of these LLM tracking tools are selling, which is practically not possible? I'll start. I'll tell to give one stat. I won't take the name, but I recently came across a tool that was selling or featuring AI traffic as one of their data. I found it very funny because even Google Search Console is not able to do that.
Yeah, the one I hate the most is prompt volume. I
Okay.
don't like it. I mean, how are you getting the data, man? Come on, no one is giving you the data. And some tools, okay, they were like, okay, so I'm tracking best CRM software. So what they'll do is, just because CRM software has a monthly search volume of 30,000, so this prompt volume 30,000. I mean, come on, bro. How can you just do that? I mean, behaviorally, ChatGPT, all these LLM models, they have like 10% of the total searches. I mean, there are 100 people in the world. I mean, 5 to 10 people are using these things. 90% of the people are just using Google as well. So you can't just bring that search thing into, merge it over here. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Even the number one tool, number two tool, everyone has prompt volumes. And then they just don't tell us from where are you getting the volume. Please tell us. I mean, is it coming from my own GSC? Is it coming from, you have multiple GSCs in the same niche and then you're making an assumption? But no, I mean, what I have believed is that they're just using some sort of search data, and they're just, with the market cap or with the usage or market cap of these LLM models, they're just doing the math, which doesn't make sense to me at all. Until unless we have the ads platform by ChatGPT and they tell us in front that, okay, this keyword had this much search volume, they give that data to us, and then tools like us, we should just scrape that data and we should say this to the customers. What's your take on this?
Same. I wouldn't believe this feature without any tool clarifying how that data is being processed. If you can give clarity on how this data is being processed, why not?
Yeah.
We'll believe it and we'll use it.
Even with the fan outs that I've seen, some people, what they do is they'll just create synthetic ones for you, synthetic queries. I can just ask ChatGPT that this is my prompt. Can you just give me some fan outs? It will just give you the fan outs. But we know that fan outs, they heavily depend on the browser, the location, the things you're searching properly, and those things. A lot of people, a lot of tools in the market, you just enter the keyword, it will automatically just generate it for you. We don't have to generate the fan outs. We have to track the fan outs from the prompts that we are tracking, and then extract the fan outs, and then we should just create content or do whatever we want to do the fan out. So even the fan out generator, this is a proper keyword as well. So people are searching as well. AI fan out generator, there are generators, and you enter the keyword and it generates the fan outs. It just changed the whole meaning of fan out. So this is one more thing which I just don't like. I mean, people are actually converting people on using this as well.
And there are a lot of Chrome free plugins that have come that will help you extract fan out queries. But I would believe, or I would assume, that it comes with personalization. It doesn't help you with the perfect location for which you want that query. Is that true? What's your take on that?
If you're using a Chrome VPN, then it won't. But if you're using a VPN on the system level, let's say if you install the VPN, and then if you've installed something that changes your location and all, I think it should be fine with the plugins, because naturally it is just getting you the data from the network tab. So it should be fine according to me, until unless if you are doing it in a setup manner, you're setting up the location, you're setting up everything, and then you're tracking it, then it should be fine.
What are the LLMs that your clients are most interested in tracking data for? Let's arrange it in priority orders.
ChatGPT number one, and then AI overviews, and then AI
Okay.
mode, and then Gemini and Perplexity. Yeah.
What about Grok and Claude?
Few people have asked us with Claude. Tracking with Claude is actually different. They have a lot of systems in place, to stop the scrapers. A lot of people in the market, they're using it with the API, but the amount of prompts that we are tracking, it will cost us thousands of dollars per month if we use the API. So we are figuring out something with Claude, and we'll add it soon. But yes, if I was to guess, it should be just below AI overviews, I guess. Claude for business decisions depends on niche to niche. If someone's just asking a very normal restaurant questions, I don't think they are gonna ask Claude.
Claude.
Mostly, yeah, most of the people who are, I would say, knowledge workers, people who are into business, are C-level executives or people who are decision makers. Most of the people in that range are using Claude, as per me. And yeah, if Claude was there, it should be just below AI overviews or AI mode.
Earlier, you had mentioned that consensus is one of the key factors for ranking across LLMs. And this is something I also believe in. This is something I've seen results as well with. You build consensus, you will rank across LLMs. But then we see different results in different LLMs. Even if I build consensus, I will see my brand rank in GPT, not rank in Claude, rank in Grok, but not rank in Gemini. It will be very different. Why does that happen? If consensus is the thing and I've built consensus, then why is my brand not ranking consistently across all LLMs?
Again, the same thing that we discussed before, partnerships. Okay, I mean, everyone has their partnerships. They're just pulling out data from the partner has always used some of their technologies in a different way. Bing is different, Brave is different, Google is different. So everyone with the partnerships, whatever data they pull in from the partnerships gets in, just they just, what to say, summarize the whole data and just give it to you. So obviously there will be changes inside every model, even though we set the consensus for the brand, for the narrative. Have you seen any changes with the cutoff memory as of now?
I haven't tracked that yet.
So let's say if there is a brand, okay, and that brand has this narrative of they don't have better customer support. Okay, let's say this is the sentiment. So everyone just talks about citations and everything. No one talks about sentiment. So let's say this is the sentiment for my brand, and only one model, let's say Perplexity, gives me this thing, and Perplexity always gives my brand that, okay, they don't have a free trial. Let's say, even though we have, now it's just pulling that information automatically from its memory or somewhere, some source that it finds trusted. And how do we change that? Even though if we are doing a press release and everything, what we have seen is, if you want to change that sentiment, you'll have to again wait for the cutoff memory. And before the cutoff memory happens, what you do is you build a lot of content, a lot of interviews, press release, and everything, even on Instagram. So we found for a client, there was, I can't name the client or the prompt, but the founder itself started making content, and it was his Instagram or it was his YouTube or something like that. Some social platform got picked up, and that platform changed the sentiment for him. It was something related to his customer support or something like that. And it was the one model which was just choosing that this particular software does not have a good customer support or a human customer support. And they wanted to change the narrative, but it was not changing in just one particular model, that was Perplexity. And they had to make content around sources that Perplexity was choosing. And then it happened after 3 or 4 months that Perplexity also started citing the Instagram post that they made, that, okay, we have made this a big change, and now we do the human support. And now they change the sentiment itself.
So if it's the partnerships, then does consensus still come into play?
Yeah, again, it should, right? If we take the whole data for Google, what I would say is, whatever answer I'm giving on based of data. If I want to influence, let's just go by model now. Okay, if I want to go for ChatGPT, obviously it will choose a lot of different sources. We choose the sources that we want to infiltrate. We choose the sources that we know that we can go out there, make some changes, either by partnerships with the respective website, or either by the content, because obviously third party validation is the number one thing that we have learned. This is what we are discussing. The model by model, Google will obviously choose their own partners, their publishers, their Google apps, their video platform, YouTube. We'll extract data, we'll track data for each platform for several days. We'll see what kind of sources, what kind of content influences the result for that particular platform. For ChatGPT, if it's Reddit. For Google, if it's YouTube. And social type of content, video form of content. If for ChatGPT, if it's Reddit, and then there's some forum, there's Track Radar, stuff like that. I'll make consensus based on the platforms that they love, based on the platforms that they choose to extract the data to give the answer. And I will try to change my sentiment or my brand voice on those platforms.
Sanjay, thank you for sharing all the knowledge. This was very informative. I'll share all your socials, your links, even RadarKit in the description. Our listeners want to interact with you, have questions about RadarKit, and want to follow you. Where are you most active?
Thank you, Jagdish bhai. I'm actually most active on LinkedIn. You can just search Sanjay Singh RadarKit. I would be there, and yeah, most active there. As well as I have a YouTube channel with JAI SEO Tips YouTube channel. and you can follow my YouTube channel as well. You can add me as a collaborator as well, so maybe people can find. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. And again, guys, those who are listening, I would highly recommend you testing out RadarKit. One of the things that I love about RadarKit is their customer support. Sanjay and his team is always prompt, taking in feedback, and not only taking in feedback, but also adding new features based on our request. Sanjay, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Javed bhai. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you. It is always pleasure talking to you. You are one of the experts in this industry, and it's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Cheers, man.
Cheers.